Hi everyone, in this video we are going to talk about the 30 Years' War by Kalina Marinova, Dankinova and Katerina Okova. Firstly, we are going to look at the scene before the war, then we will concentrate our attention to its phases, which are four, and finally we will talk about its results and consequences. The 30 Years' War was fought mainly in Central Europe on the territory of the Holy Roman Empire between 1618 and 1648. Due to the Reformation, which started during the 15th century and reached its peak in the 16th century, and the Peace of Augsburg signed in 1555, Protestants and Catholics were discreet. The latter remained in the south, whereas northern parts became Protestants. The regions located between were waging prolonged wars for the advantage of one of the two strands of Christianity. The war was divided into four main phases. Bohemian and Danish were the first two of them. In those two early phases, the conflicts were local and religious. Soon they expanded to Swedish and French phases, in which the disputes were increasingly continental and political. In 1617, the Holy Roman Emperor and King of Bohemia, Matthias, died and had no heirs. The Catholic Ferdinand II was elected to ascend the throne of Hungary and Bohemia, which was the immediate cause of the war. Fearing that they will lose their religious rights and preferring Frederick V, Bohemian Protestants threw the representatives of Ferdinand II out of the palace windows. That event is known as the Bohemian Defenestration, and it eventually started the Bohemian Revolt in 1618. On the 8th of November in 1620, Frederick and Ferdinand's armies confronted each other in the Battle of White Mountain, where Ferdinand decisively defeated the Bohemians, and so the Bohemian phase really closed out. Several Protestant leaders kept close tabs on these happenings. Denmark was directly north of the Holy Roman Empire and even had several holdings, so the Protestant King of Denmark, Christian IV, has a vested interest in this conflict. Denmark, England and Scotland joined to protect the still standing Dutch. Obviously, they would be facing the Holy Roman Empire, which consisted of Austria, Bohemia, Spain, Hungary and Croatia. After a series of conflicts, Denmark concluded a peace treaty with the Holy Roman Empire in 1629. Later on, Ferdinand II issued an order to withdraw the titles of the Protestant rulers based on the Peace of Augsburg. That aroused new revolts and led to the next main phase. 1630 begins the Swedish phase. King Gustavus Adolphus of Sweden, a Lutheran and a commander, descends into the Holy Roman Empire to the Protestants' aid and achieved victory at the Battle of Breitenfeld, with credit to his use of mobile artillery, which saw him being referred to as the father of modern warfare. During that time, France was opposing the Holy Roman Empire since it was hoping to fund Sweden's war effort during this phase. You might be asking yourself, why is France, a Catholic country, helping the Protestant Swedes? Well, how we mentioned before, the religious basis of the war became less prevalent and politics really turned out to be a deciding factor in most choices. So what pushed France to join Sweden? Well, it was all about the balance of power. France, knowing it was surrounded by the Habsburgs, saw backing Sweden as a way to bring the Habsburg down a notch and secure a more balanced and equal playing field in Europe. Sadly, Gustavus died and Sweden decided to make more of a backseat role in the war. So, in 1635, Sweden tags in France. Sweden would be handling the budget, while France took care of the more hands-on business. This was the longest, the bloodiest, and the truly defining part of this war. There were a few consequences afterwards. The war weakened the Holy Roman Empire and made France the dominating power in Europe. Austria began to separate from Germany, and a lasting religious peace was established. Overall, the 30 Years' War is described as one of the most destructive conflicts in human history. Some areas lost more than 66% of their population, 1,630 cities and 80,000 villages were destroyed. To contextualize this, during the World War I, 1.7% of the population was killed, whereas in the 30 Years' War, without machine guns, planes, tanks, and high-powered artillery, assassinated 1.4%, which makes only 0.2% difference. In 1648, the Peace of Westphalia was signed. It weakened the Holy Roman Empire, stripping their control over the princes, and really completely destroying the idea of the Holy Roman Empire as any kind of empire. The Dutch also got their independence from the Spanish. Brandenburg gained territory, which led to the rise of the Brandenburg Prussia. Also, territory went to France. Lastly, Switzerland gained its independence from the Holy Roman Empire as a confederation. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for your attention.